Let's pray. God, we thank you so much we thank you for today. We thank you for the glimpse of sun that started to shine through the clouds. We thank you for the rain that did come. We do ask that you continue to watch over all those who were impacted by the rain that did fall. But we thank you for your protection over our city, and just ask that you continue to be with all of us, anybody who was impacted. God, we thank you for today that we are able to gather, and ask that you just help us as we go through the work of the city. And God, I just thank you for all of the volunteers, all of the staff, everybody who just pours so much into this city, and just ask that you continue to bless us, God. It's just so wonderful to be in a place that we can call community. And so we thank you for that. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Okay. We have service presentation. Jim? All right. I'm going to read three off, and I'm going to step down and read a couple. These are all 5-year certificates. City of Meadows Place is so fortunate to have people that have been with the city for quite a length of time. It adds to the fabric of the community, both from an employee's perspective and from a resident's perspective, because we know who's here. They have a feel for the city, and it really contributes a lot, especially when they're coming out of important positions. And in Meadows Place, that's all we have, because we don't have any appeal. I would like to recognize for City of Meadows Place for 5 years of service, and these three are not here for different reasons. Travis Florian, who is in our police department. Colleen Cabezas, who has been a long-term resident, but is a 5-year department head here in the City of Meadows Place, and has helped to elevate our parks department to one of the finest in this part of the country, and especially with some little 1 square mile city with no money. Colleen, we thank you as well. And the next one, and Anna Maria, I'm hoping you're here watching. Anna Maria is a finance director and has, again, elevated the finance department of City of Meadows Place to one of the strongest in Fort Bend County. I put our finance department up against anybody's. We have current numbers at the tip of our fingertips, and the council knows how important that is. The chief will verify how important it is and how wonderful it is to be able to use. So Anna Maria, we thank you very much. Anna Maria is home with her dad, who is going to be leaving real quick to go up to Colorado and then off to someplace like South Carolina or something. She wanted to take a few hours with him before he leaves. So to those three, I say thank you. Y'all get your pens sometime else. Right now, if I could have D'Angelo Richmond, please. Oh, the chief said stand still. He knows which side his bread's buttered on. D'Angelo, I remember when you came, and I'm so excited. And then I remember when that little baby was born, and he's not so little anymore. And that's been an exciting opportunity for me to see you grow as an employee of the City of Meadows Place and as a professional police officer. We thank you. We're glad you're here. We appreciate it. We're going to send this home with you. And if I can get the chief, here, look over. Yeah, let's look professional in this. Somebody help me out. Okay, guess who we are? And this is your pen. And if you keep this, don't lose it, because additionally we will add those up. And that's your 5-year pen. And D'Angelo, we thank you very, very much for being part of the Meadows Place Police Department and looking after us. You bet. Thank you. Uh-oh. How many did I give you, D'Angelo? He's trying to tell 5 years on us here. All right, Doran Kennig, come on up. Welcome. I'm glad. I can't believe it's been 5 years. Man. I would say, look you've matured, but I can't see you. Here, take this. Let's shake hands. I'll hold like this. Again, tell us when, Chief. Jordan, thank you. I enjoy seeing you out there. You've prospered under the City of Meadows Place. You've done a great job for us. And you're one of those folks that brings a ton of energy into this department, and I really do appreciate it. I know that when you are out there, you're looking for somebody and you're going to try your best to catch them, and that makes me feel good. And I do appreciate you and appreciate the 5 years put here, and I know this council does as well. Council, audience, if we could give these folks a big round of applause and show our appreciation. Thank you. Our officers be here for 5 years. Received the fence. Moving on to item C is reports. The first one is always is the police department, and this evening we have Chief Gary Stewart is here, and Captain Ashton is not here. He's out in Fredericksburg. Hopefully he went to the Pacific War Museum and picked me up something.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As always, we start out my report with the number of accidents. You can see those have risen. We had 10 this last reporting period. There's only 2 that occurred in the roundabouts. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no pattern. So just let you know they did increase a little bit. Number of arrests were at 10. Go over those a little later. Number of calls for service was 2,387. Number of reports, 59. Traffic citations at 220. Violations for city ordinance. We had, hold on 1 second here, I lost my place. 2. Warnings issued for traffic, 187. Warnings issued for COV, city ordinance violation 9. Total activity count of 3,045. This month we had 0 assaults. We had 2 BMVs, 0 burglary of business, 0 burglary of residence. 581 city ordinance, or business checks, city ordinance 11, close patrol 11. We had 130 for the total close patrol. Criminal mischief we had 1, fraud we had 3. On house watches 223, 100 for park security with 711 property checks. We had 0 robberies this month. I will go over the 3 from last month with the arrest. 23 school checks and 71 for tennis courts, property checks, total 1,258. Thefts we had 3. We had 0 UUMVs this month. 68 was the TLC pass rate with 29 failures, or a total of 97 contacts. For this reporting period, we're still, all our activities outside of our own police department and training that are specified for our department only has been canceled. Our city ordinance breakdown for the warnings, there were 4 for solicitors, 2 for noise complaint, and 3 for on Dorrance for the Vroom parking violations. We did issue 2 citations on the same parking area on Vroom. Then again, as everything and everybody is doing over here, we're continuing with the disinfecting of the PD in the cars, and as you can see, our guys are making sure that they follow COVID protocols as well. Going to the notes section, there's the breakdown as usual for the calls for service that I leave to you to read on your own, and if you have any questions, contact me. They do describe some of the arrests that I do want to switch to the page, page 4, where we begin our arrest. And as you can see, most of them, I'm only going to go over the one, that second one there that's highlighted. I'll go over a couple of these calls, and then that's it, a couple of the rest that were key this past month. The one that is highlighted there that you see for the evading a motor vehicle, UCW, which is prohibited weapon and theft of firearm, resisting arrest, and escape from custody. One of our officers, Sergeant Tinnig, who got recognized tonight for his 5 years, and Sergeant Adamas actually caught these terrorists, as I'll call them. They're traveling through our neighborhood. Started out as a traffic stop, and then they tried to evade arrest. One of the important things in here is that perpetrators tried to escape. I know the taser was deployed, and they were able to regain control of and custody of the suspect. But in the end, what they found in the car was a fully automatic Glock 17 that had been stolen out of Fort Bend County Fort Bend County. The sheriff's office confirmed that in a recent burglary that had occurred in Sugar Land. So those suspects were arrested and taken back to Fort Bend County Jail. The rest continued. As you can see, there's some with thefts in here. I just wanted to mention that those thefts, Officer Manna was able to capture the individual that we put a bolo out on ourselves, our agency, who has been habitually stealing from Murphy Express. He is a beer thief that he had a previous convictions, 5 convictions of theft, and since he had 4 here, he ends up with a felony now, and our charges will be filed on him within the week since we have him identified. Additionally, I said I'd mention about the robberies, the 3 from last month. Those suspects have also been identified. Charges have been filed. It's gone to grand jury, and he was indicted. Now switching to additional notes, and that was just the highlights of the 10 arrests. The additional notes, we'll skip past the first part, which is again covers COVID, that I'll leave in there so that if you ever have questions on how we're handling that, unless they change. Right now, the training center is only partially reopened. Mainly it's been used for EOC, especially during Laura, and is currently being used for monitoring of now Tropical Depression Beta. As we always do. We are continuing to prepare for that. Our Never Fail system and all the updated software that was involved in that when it failed last time has been corrected and is working properly. I can assure you of that because we went through Laura with it. To update the EOC, we were lucky with Laura. We did stand up partially and only activating the PD from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Many of these officers were there. Fortunately, that was a non-event for us. It wasn't so lucky for our Louisiana neighbors. Tropical Storm Beta is now Tropical Depression, as we mentioned, and I have prepared the EOC Saturday and Sunday, and we're still at a level 3, which is just increased readiness. I am monitoring all the weather and all the state information coming from the state, the county EOC, as well as the gauges around our area, making sure our bayous are okay. So right now at this point we have not stood up at all, not even partially, as we're just monitoring it. I have our officers also checking it who give me updates regularly, and I'm able to monitor remotely. We have everything in line so that if we had to stand up, we could do it at a moment's notice. So I feel confident in that. We are prepped. With that, there's multiple calls a day with this and sit rep reports, which the mayor and city administrator are aware of, and I keep them updated when they can't make those calls or they are on them themselves. Lastly, we are currently waiting for 2 grants to be awarded at the end of this month, barring any unforeseen changes. One of those being 4 LPR cameras from Flock Safety. Yes.
For those that don't speak cop, what is LPR?
I'm sorry, license plate readers. Apologize for that. This would be from Flock Safety that we got a grant for. The grant was $36,000. Each camera per year is a $9,000, and it's a lease that you're actually working with because you're leasing their equipment and their technology, which they have the cloud storage for. This project, I don't see why it won't be funded. I've already entered in the agreement, making sure that we follow their guidelines for and legal restrictions, and have passed that on to them, which is a good sign or a good indicator that we are probably going to get funded. With this, we will have 5 years of maintenance included. And if we decide to, and after evaluation of this, we can continue funding or expand this project after the lease expires in 5 years, or we can expand it prior to that if we find the need. The second grant is a portable live scan system from IDEMIA. Live scan is a portable technology that we can use to take digital fingerprints and palm prints that we can utilize not only the PD but in the field during investigations when time is crucial. We do get a quicker response back in that, and do we know who we're dealing with as well, especially for people who fail to ID or give us multiple IDs. So we're looking for that. That does cover a $30,000 portion, which includes the live scan unit, all the training for the personnel, printer, computer monitor, keyboard, and all the ancillary equipment, plus the 5-year maintenance as well. These two items, if granted, and I don't see why not, will tremendously help us out for criminal investigations and apprehensions. And I will turn everything over to you all for any questions.
Chief, I have one. Is the license plate readers and the digital fingerprint unit on the same grant, or are they different?
Negative. That's two different grants completely.
Council, anybody have one?
Are the license plate readers, are they visible to the public, or are these hidden from out of sight?
No, they'll be visible. Yeah.
Throughout, you've already identified locations.
So the locations identification is something we'll have to do. One of the things that held us up, because I was going to get with the mayor and Nick this week, is of course the weather and the things going on with that, being involved in that process. So we have time, because if they do award this, it's typically not until the end of the month or the first week of October. So usually we find out at that point. It's not that we get the equipment at that point. Then we line everything up. So we have a little time. What we want to do is make sure that it's something that works for the city, but also best benefits the police department for us to be able to apprehend criminals. We know typically where some of those come in and out of. So we'll identify those spots, but also make it where it's beneficial for the entire city.
I had another question unrelated to that. Room. So we put up the no parking signs 2-3 weeks ago.
Correct.
Between Southwest Freeway and Bloomington. Have you seen has there been any enforcement issues, or have you seen a change in behavior?
Yes. So I have provided our city administrator with a list of what we have found so far with violations, whether they be warnings or citations to the parking. There's been 3 warnings, 2 citations. The message got out real quick because there's at this point you might as well say total compliance. We had 1 stop today that was for a brief stop that was unrelated to them. So pretty much the compliance has been really, really well received.
Have you noticed any change in through traffic because of this change that we made to the parking? Through traffic?
No, the through traffic still seems relatively the same. I do notice that there's less car haulers coming that direction. And I think that they have some signage out now where they're showing where the truck should turn, 400 feet, and they're doing some things to help mitigate that as well. So I do believe they're trying to comply.
We're making some small amount of progress.
I think you made a lot of progress.
If I could piggyback on that, Steve, I was leaving, and I now go out that way so I can check that. And so I saw a car carrier heading westbound on Dorrance right across from the entryway. And it looked to me like they were getting ready to unload. So I pulled over there and I got my phone out ready to call PD, and I saw the guy over at the guard shack. And there was a lot of finger pointing going on and a whole lot of head shaking. And the guard made it clear, no, you are not stopping here. You have got to move. I mean, it got a little bit animated, and I watched it to the conclusion. The truck driver unhappily went over and climbed up in his truck and bailed out of there. I think that's happening more often than we know, but that's apparently the word got down to those folks that you see them get them
Well,
out
it's
of here.
good news that the guards are actually doing something about it.
Yes,
as opposed to
I thought so
us
too.
Putting up signs and complaining to the room.
I asked
If they're actually put in a policy, we might actually see complaints.
some results.
Yeah, some results.
I agree with you. We asked Scott Jacobson to please pass that on to the guards, and we don't know whether he does or not, but I'd say by judging by what I saw that day, that's the message that the guards have. So, keep your fingers crossed. Anybody else?
Yes.
Chief, the cameras, the ones I'm seeing go up around the county are solar powered? Are the ones we getting, are they solar powered or?
They would be the same, yes.
So basically everything is self-contained, the camera, the pole, there's no wires going to it. You just got to put in the foundation, drop the pole,
Yes.
camera's ready to go.
And they take care of all the, like I said, maintenance upgrades or anything that has to do with software, so we'll be good with that. We won't feel a glitch.
It's a permanent thing then. You don't move it around once you set it up.
Correct. That's why it's important for us to identify those key locations.
We're headed out this week, next week. We're going to go search it out.
Yeah, we're going to intended to do this week, but
Yes.
with the weather.
Very good. Anybody else?
Yes, Chief. Yeah, it's working. Do these cameras have the ability to read like multiple lanes, or are they just focused on one lane going one direction?
No, they can read. They're going to pick up the ones as they're coming through as they pass it. It's much like if you were going through a toll booth area or something like that. It's going to pick it up real quick. And then stores that information for 30 days in the cloud. If there's a need for us to retrieve information, again, and for just an example, because we're not Big Brother, we're not watching these things, that's just kind of going to happen to be stored. So if we have a car that's been involved in a robbery in Houston and that's been identified in the system, they'll notify us immediately if it passes our license plate reader. And so our officers are going to have immediate notification that's going on, or a burglary or theft. But it also helps out investigations. Let's say we have a hit and run or a burglary where they've got a partial plate and a car description. We are able to search that database, but not just with our camera system. We can use Sugar Land, who has them. Fort Bend County is getting them. You're a conglomerate. We all share that information. That's part of the agreement I had to sign, is that we share that information, and it helps all of us solve crime. So it's a good crime fighting tool.
Great, thanks.
Essentially, this is part of the regional police network that y'all have been working on for so hard, and this is just adding.
It's one part of it.
Okay.
Sorry, I got
Sure.
questions tonight. I noticed something on the agenda about the auction. Did we get the new cop car, and is it fully decked out and in service?
It's a top secret mission that we do have the car, and it is being upfitted as we speak.
Okay, so shortly then.
So it should be here, in actuality, it should probably be here in about another month. Maybe a month and a half.
It's always amazing how long all this takes to get
I know, I saw it, I got excited, I go, wow, that's fast for government work. But sure enough.
Y'all told me to pull the trigger. It was
Yeah,
it was done.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to let the chief go. All right. Chief, I understand you're going to be heading out, and
Yes.
thank you very much for being here. And
bet.
I want to thank all of our officers again for all that you do out there, and for the two that got your awards. Thank you all very much, and congratulations. And we'll see you later. If y'all are leaving, if you're staying, great. Thank you.
Yep. Officer Gonzalez is going to be staying for the remainder of the meeting.
I knew one of them was, I just wasn't sure which one it was. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chief. All right, item 2, reports is code enforcement. Tonight is the night that normally a code enforcement official, Jennifer Cabello, would report. However, she is not here. Her brother has passed away, and she come back Thursday. She won't be back till Thursday. So we will pick that up in the future, and I'll figure out how to handle that. The next item on the agenda is the fire report, which I thought I had the text tag right here. Before I read the actual incidents, I want to mention that Fire Chief DeCamillo has been working with our marketing group to come up with about a 45-second video that will talk about our fire department. We've got a good one coming out here on that. And we're just trying to build videos, things out of different departments so people see what's going on and are informed about that. And people don't realize how closely we work with the fire department and the fire marshal who works through that department. And I want to thank them. We've had last reporting period, we had a total of 47 fire/EMS reporting incidents reported to us. 32 are EMS, so thank goodness they're here. We had 13 good intents reported fires and 2 fire-related for that total of 47. 25 were during the week, during the day, and 6 were on the weekend during the day. 9 were at weeknight, and 7 were at weekend night for that same 45. We had 1 plan review by the fire marshal that is new for this planning period, and that is over at Helfman Ford, where they're doing some improvements. And that is the fire report for now. Item number 4 is the city administrator's report. Nick, you're up.
Thanks, Mayor. Just a few things tonight. First of all, in your agenda packet, you're going to see something a little bit new. For those contracts that are going to go in front of council from different contractors and vendors, one of the new pieces of paper in your packet is what's called a Form 1295. Now, a 1295 form is something that has been, was approved by the legislature back in 2015, and the official name on the form is a Certificate of Interested Parties. What it really is it's a conflict of interest form. And so the legislature, in passing this, has required governmental entities, including cities, to have these contractors fill out these 1295 forms, essentially identifying and labeling out all of their interested parties associated with it so that you guys can review it, make sure there is no conflict of interest, and in all good conscience vote on these different contracts. It is required by the state, and so staff has gotten together. We have a good process in place to make sure that any of these contracts that come in front of you, we will have these 1295s with it. Now, from a council perspective, your job is to read these things and make sure that you don't have a vested interest with these organizations, lest you want to go ahead and recuse yourself from the vote. So again, this is a process that is administered by the Texas Ethics Commission. The city is required to not only collect these things, but also let the Texas Ethics Commission know when we receive these. And again, staff has a good process in place to make sure we do this every time. Next thing, as you know, we do have a key vacancy right now in the organization, Public Works Director. We have gone ahead and posted that position. In the interim, the guys in Public Works are reporting to me. They're doing a good job of maintaining, keeping up with their duties. I am going to ask for a little bit of grace as we go forward in this interim. But in this time, the guys are keeping up with business, and we're making improvements where we can. I should mention that, for example, before storm events, one of the things the guys make sure and do is make sure that all the storm inlets and vents are clear. in advance of any rain. The guys are out there right now. We're doing some improvements to, we're doing some repairs to trailers out there, trying to get the best, longest life use out of it we can. And so we are, as I like to say, doggy paddling right now, looking for a position to fill. With all the rain that we have been experiencing, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to bring up our drought contingency plan that we have in place. The reason I bring it up is because this time last year, in fact, on the September meeting of last year, you approved the city's drought contingency plan. It's a good plan, and we have it in place. The state only requires us to submit these drought contingency plans to them if we have more than 3,300 connections, water and sewer connections, water connections in town. We don't, and so we're not required to submit this to TCEQ. However, we do have to have a drought contingency plan in place and on file and ready to operate should TCEQ come knock on our door and ask to see it. We do have that plan in place. It's a good plan, but I wanted to let you know that it's not a requirement for us to put this in front of you guys every year. However, we will keep up with it, and from time to time we will revisit it and make sure it still makes sense for the community. So, again, I read it. It's a good plan, and we certainly do not need it this week. Finally, the chief did a good job mentioning the citations associated with Vroom. I want to let you all know that staff has put together a good plan in place to track the number of citations that has been issued for Vroom-associated vehicles, as well as any code enforcement citations associated with Vroom. As you know, the letter that was discussed at the last month, that was sent to Vroom, does have that specific requirement in terms of how many violations would require us to revisit the SUP. And so staff has put together a checklist or a process to make sure that we track that so it doesn't get biased. And as you remember, we have that rolling 90-day period. So Chief and I have gotten together, Courtney and I have gotten together, and we have a good plan in place to make sure we catch that and we track that on a daily basis. So with that, that's the report for today. Yes,
How
sir.
many candidates have you had for the public works?
We've gotten a few applications, a handful, right, Courtney, so far. We posted it about a week ago.
Closer to 2 or closer to 6? 4? Okay.
If you know anybody.
Is there an opportunity to get creative here in terms of, like, do some cities combine public works, contract out public works, an opportunity to, like, if you're overseeing some of the day-to-day, is there an opportunity to combine that with another department and contract? We already contract out the water, right, and that's a big piece of it. Like do other cities do that, or like we could save on some costs, expand services without having to take on some costs?
It depends. I mean, every vacancy is an opportunity to hit the pause button and look and see what you got and see if there are any efficiencies that you can add. There are some key functions in that position.
I'm not suggesting hit the pause on the service level. I'm
Right.
suggesting that
Just
is it possible to get creative to get more service for the same amount of money using different mechanisms to procure those services?
we can always look at that, certainly. I mean, if there is an opportunity to, let's say, outsource the operation to an extent. Now, I will say that we need to look at that very closely because from a capital projects perspective, if we begin to ramp up our capital projects, we're going to need more help on that end. And we really need to look at our options there. I'm not going to say that to have a day-to-day public works director in the house is a bad thing, but we really need to look at the functions we do on a daily basis and see if it's something that we could look at maybe diversifying, looking elsewhere. We've only had the position on the market for about a week, so don't know what we're going to get through the door. But again, it's always an opportunity to look and see what we got and see what we can do. I will say that I've talked to the mayor about this, and it's always been my preference to bring in a good group to look at applications, to look at the possibility of who we're going to hire. We got to talk more about that. We got to talk about how we're going to go through the process of actually selecting someone should we do that. So we're really early on.
Nick, is there an association of Texas Public Works directors or something similar that we could post this to their website or whatever it may be?
There are a lot of options, yes. We haven't yet. APWA is an association that, now we have posted this on TML, I believe, and it's been out there for a few days. There are definitely other avenues to reach people. Really when you look at Meadows Place, it probably is a pretty targeted audience of people you're going for, given the makeup of our community. And so, again, not knowing who's going to come through the door, what applications we're going to get, it's a little early to say what we're going to have. If, quite frankly, we're not satisfied with the pool we get, then we'll just regroup and figure out what we're going to do. But yeah, we'll try and reach as many as we can, up to and including calling people, quite frankly.
Which we have semi-begun already.
Calling friends in other cities and saying, hey, do you know anybody that might be ready to make that step, or that kind of thing. So I've had some success in that in the past.
Great, thank you.
So we're early on, but we'll hopefully have some good options.
Kurt and I think we're both a little bit impatient. We want to get this process rolling.
And Nick, I think you're the one that's coordinating with USW in the meantime.
I am. So we've met with Byron and Corey with USW. I want to make sure that we don't drop any balls there. Those guys do a good job on the day-to-day, and I've had good communication with those guys to make sure that the operation stays as smooth as we can. Can't guarantee that no balls are going to drop in this process, but I've made the phone calls I feel like I need to make in terms of letting folks know that we have the vacancy to get with me. All those previous Public Works Director emails are getting forwarded to me now, and I'm doing my best to keep up. So we do have some regulatory compliance related stuff we got to keep up with. But yeah, we'll do our best.
I was going to ask, our MS4 isn't due anytime soon, is it?
No, and that's a good thing to bring up. We're MS4. Obviously, we have some annual compliances. We have to do annual reports to them, but we don't have to submit it and do a full 5-year recertification. We just did that, I think, a year or two ago. Yep. So, and it's my understanding that HDR helped us with the MS4 program. MS4 is the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Program. It's a long acronym, but essentially every city that operates storm sewer system has to file for a permit with the state to operate our storm sewer system. Although I'd love to see what happens if we didn't do that. But
No, we don't.
but the reality is that in order for us to operate our storm sewer systems, we have to have a permit with the state to do that. In that permit, there are different requirements we have to do every year to make sure that we comply with the plan. Typically, your public works director will be the individual that helps implement that plan. Then every few years, you have to basically create a whole brand new plan that updates everything in their annual report, etc. So that's an example of some of the things that we have to do in-house to maintain compliance with the state. And in the absence of a public works director, we'll do everything we can to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. But it's an
And one of the examples, if you take a look out at our storm drains, you see nothing but rain down the drain, markers and that type of thing. That's part of that plan. And you have to monitor that and upgrade and find something new to do. Well, in a little bitty town like ours, we're about 1 square mile, in case y'all didn't know. We run out of things to do, so it's something we have to monitor pretty closely. All right, anything else, Nick? Yes, sir. All right. That takes us into, thank you very much. I forgot to mention something in the fire department, and kind of was going to lead into schools, but I'm not going to. The fire department, our police department, and EMS were recently involved in a spill that involved TCEQ. We had, some head nodding going down there. We had both Dorrance and Montecito blocked at the bridges. There was a spill up behind the school, went down the drain into the ditch, underneath into the bayou, and we were notified by a walker saying, hey, I smell something. Had a sheen, you could see it. It wasn't a massive spill, but it was a spill, and you could see it, and it was real, and we took it seriously, and notified PCEQ, fire department, who immediately brought hazmat out. So we had Meadows Place Police Department kind of securing, running the front end of traffic control and making sure nobody got hurt. We had their fire department was out there. We had hazmat out there. We had all sort of folks, right, EMS there in case somebody needed to be helped. I was scared to death till I figured out what was going on. But it was big enough.
500 gallons.
Between a pint and 20 gallons.
I would say it wasn't 500 gallons, but you don't know. And what I was impressed with, Steve,
I am too.
was the fact it was. I mean, it was a very professional response, and I think you can tell they backtracked that spill all the way. And I said, "What are they doing?" And I thought, "Oh, they're just trying to find out where it is." I took it for that, but no, they were backtracking it, and they found it, and they followed it all the way through.
Constant flow?
Nope. No, but they could tell where it'd been. And so I just wanted to say our fire department was involved in that, EMS was involved in that, and our police department were involved in that, helping hazmat, and it was pretty impressive. So, and there's still a little bit of residual smell out there for those that walk the track area. So just wanted to bring that up and let you know that we had a very professional response.
More than likely, the school contractor is going to get a fine out of TCEQ.
And I was so happy that they found something that we didn't have to bite that bullet. You bet. Thank you. All right, moving on. Since I've got the mic, I'm going to go ahead on to Mayor's comments. Just very briefly on Meadows Elementary, you'll notice that we posted a delay in the opening of the school. It's going to be now till the week after spring break. We have, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm just astounded at how much bigger this school looks, even though the footprint isn't that much bigger. And what a beautiful school building it is, and what an addition it's going to be to this city when it opens. That said, I'm disappointed that it is going to be delayed, but we are taking pictures every day, sometimes on the weekend, mostly not, of the construction. We got it tearing down, we got it coming back up. We've had some 30-second drone footage through there. We've got another 30-second drone shot through there. We're going to get 2 more later on, and then when the school opens, the plan is to hopefully have our film and the timeline with the drone shots inserted as part of the grand opening of the school. Charles Dupree, administrator for the city of Fort Bend ISD, asked me to do that, and we're going ahead with that. And EDC and has been a big help in that. Budget. We're going to talk about that in a second, but I feel like it's necessary to put on the record. I want to thank all the department heads who worked so hard on our behalf, meaning the people of City of Meadows Place. They worked, and so much, we got so much done in a short period of time. Anna Maria Weston, who's not here tonight, who's been here 5 years now, and keeps some of the best sets of books in Fort Bend, was invaluable and worked with each one of the department heads, with Nick, with Courtney, and with council to make sure that we had all the information that we knew. Nick, our new city administrator, I want to thank him for addition of expertise on this matter, and I thought you did a great job of kind of monitoring that and helping me, council, and get through this process. Nick, thank you very much. I also want to thank EDC, Curtis here, and Tia Baker's here from EDC, because they're going to get their budget, council, if all goes well, approved. They worked so hard to make sure the city was able to do some of the projects we wanted to do, and you'll see that in the budget. But I think council worked very, very hard on this budget. I am so impressed by the way y'all handled this stuff. Some of the discussions were pretty dicey, and yet so respectful and so professional. And it's easy to spot that y'all know what you're talking about when you're talking about budget, so it's easy for me. Texas Parks and Wildlife, I want to say, has been out to our city. They were at our nature center. We had 5 little turtles hatch, and those are fancy box turtles, and it was a surprise. And all of a sudden, there they were. And for those that don't know, that type of box turtle is on decline in the state of Texas because people getting out in the woods and forests, and they go, oh, how cool, and taking them home. Well, just like the one I found on my way down to see James in League City, there was a box turtle on the side of the road. Unfortunately, it was dead. So we're trying to do our best to replace losses like that. And we don't know exactly what to do. We contacted Texas Parks and Wildlife, and they have sent a representative out. There's a little video on. I don't know if you saw it. Please go check us out on Facebook if you haven't. And they're working with their local regional division and Austin to see the best way for us to help do that, and maybe use us as a pilot program for other nature centers to do stuff like this. And that's being led by Texas Parks and Wildlife and our Parks Department. I'm pretty impressed for a little old 1 square mile city to be working on a program like that. COVID update. I don't know what to tell you. It's still here. We got wild, varied opinions here in City Meadows Place of how to handle it, and that's pretty much the way it is in the nation. But we still obligated to follow the state rules and subsequently the county, as we are a subdivision of the state of Texas. I learned that word. Yeah, a subdivision of the state of Texas, and we got to follow those rules. Well, in a discussion the other day with one of the councilmen, Rick, talking about the purpose and the benefit of a City of Meadows Place declaration of disaster. Well, if you recall, council, we issued that immediately because we weren't sure what we were going to be happening and how we were going to be funded or have our funds returned, because we knew we were going to be facing expenditures. We didn't know anything about CARES or COVID, federal money, or any of that stuff. So we issued a declaration. And on the 18th of March 2020, we declared that disaster because of the COVID pandemic, and we extended it to the 24th day of March, and then after that we extended it when we didn't have a stop date on it. After conversations with Nick and looking around and talking to our attorney, we see no benefit to it because we have no overriding power over the state. And so at this point, I want to just let council know about 6:01 p.m. or whatever time it was. I believe it was 6:01. I declared this over. The state and local disaster previously declared pursuant to Texas 418.108 of the Texas Government Code is hereby terminated. So we just ended that. And so I just wanted to make council aware of it. It doesn't lessen our obligations to follow COVID protocols or any issuances by the state. They're very specific in what you can and cannot do, and we're following and abiding by that. That council's aware.
Just to follow up on it, Charlie, I get all that. Steve was talking about the European countries are actually tightening up again. But the only thing I'm seeing out in the public is COVID fatigue. People are pretty much done with this. People are still wearing masks when they have to. You go to the bars, you go to the beaches, they're packed. pretty soon people just are going to stop wearing them.
I would not disagree with anything you say. I'm just hoping that we have, and this is just personal rhetoric, I'm hoping we have a vaccine available to us prior to that. But yeah, if you look around, there's protests all over the place. There are also still people dying.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be a priority for our police department to be out there hunting people down that aren't wearing masks.
Is it a priority for our police department by this council? I don't think so. So that kind of answers that, doesn't it? Okay, so anyway, there you go, Courtney, for the record. Council, I just wanted to let you know that that's been done. And we'll abide by everything here at City Hall. Make sure that we're trying to keep our staff and our visitors as safe as we possibly can, period. With that, I'm done. Council comments are now up. And
I had hoped that I would be reporting that the project was complete. Unfortunately, we had a miscommunication with CenterPoint. And our electrical drop from CenterPoint is a block north of our electrical meter and our irrigation control. So we're currently working through that to get power to our irrigation, trying to get that cleaned up. Once we got that, we are working with the landscapers to come in, change out 3 of those areas that have been a concern of sight distance that you brought, Kurt. We did get comments from a few other people. It's borderline, depends on the height of your car, but we are going to go ahead and switch out some of the landscaping. The mayor and Colleen met, and we're trying to pick out which type of grass, flower, brush we were going to use. I don't think that's been completed, at least I haven't gotten the email. We've got a recommendation from our landscape architect. To me, it was more of the plainer grass. And I'm just thinking we might want to go with one of the more of the flowered type things, just make it pop a little bit more. Other than that, we're almost done. So we just need to work out our issues with CenterPoint.
When do you expect us to get on the same level with CenterPoint? And
Well, it's not so much we're going to get on the same. It's not CenterPoint's going to come to us. We're going to go to CenterPoint. CenterPoint said, yeah, we can move it. It'll be about 6 months.
But we have some good news.
We had installed conduit for the city lighting system so we could do the festival lighting, the holiday lighting. We're just going to move the meter to the drop and then run through some of our existing conduits so we don't have to pull any new conduit.
is there still going to be room in that conduit if we need to run? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it's a 2-inch conduit.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I wish we'd have looked and said that, the address of 11611 and a half Brighton, is that north or south of Brighton?
Second.
This isn't one that we have to read specific language on?
Aye.
Move to approve. Just a reminder, this is capturing the total amount being provided by EDC. It is not an additional amount. 2021 budget has $150,000, which right now we think is going to be the final payment from EDC. We just need to do the final accounting on the project when we're done.
Aye.
And I believe it includes $150,000 towards starting the design on Dorrance from Bloomington to Kirkwood in our endeavor to start repairing and replacing the interior city streets. So that'd be the first bite of the elephant. We've got the bonds paid off. Let's start the process.
Aye.
Auditors engagement
So moved.
Real quick, is this the company we've had in the past? Okay, good deal. Thank you. Aye. Second.
I can't remember from my packet. Was this, are we, Piggy, or Pony, or following in on a county contract, HGAC, or that's our own? They're also the ones that do the county, so I'm familiar with them. Aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Well,
I think we gotta do that before we have questions.
yeah, I'll move to approve. It says the lion's share is expected to be reimbursable by the CARES Act. Are we thinking 80%, 60%?
I think that, yeah, and I want everybody to hear me loud and clear on this. So, as you know, with the CARES money, the city has somewhere on the order of about $140,000 left to spend before the end of this year. Not a lot of time. And so staff's been racking our brains trying to find out eligible expenses that the county will accept. This is one of those things that we discussed that is an eligible expense according to the county. We do have an email from them that says, we will reimburse you for this, but hear me out. Even though we have that email, we still have not applied, and we got to let them tell us, actually say yes after we apply. That said, we did get the approval, the pre-approval from them via email. There are certain things that we are confident that they will get reimbursed for. Certainly the actual rebuild of this desk with all of the materials, the platform extension, I think that they will absolutely reimburse us for that. There's also an issue where this step up is actually not ADA compliant, and we need to get that into compliance. So that's a big deal, and we need to do that as a part of this construction. However, since it's a part of this expansion, I think that the county will cover it. The door delete, door addition, that really is also associated with widening this thing, spreading everybody else out. So I think that the county, we can make an argument for the county to cover that. They probably will not cover the podium reconfiguration right there. Essentially what we do is we clad that to match the material that's on here. And then they would go ahead and cover those plexiglass partitions that would separate us out. These are partitions that are movable, they're portable, and they'd build them for us. So again, I want to say that while we think that they will reimburse us for lion's share, I can't sit here and guarantee that the county is going to come back and reimburse us for 100% of this. We just don't know until we officially submit for reimbursement. And as you know, this is a reimbursement program. The email that she sent me is in your packet. You can read and see what she said. I've spoken to her a couple of times at the county. And I think it speaks for itself. But this is one of those items where we can honestly say that increasing the size of this dais, separating people out, does help fight COVID. It is an eligible expense from the county's perspective, and so it is something that we can go ahead and spend this CARES money on before the end of the year. Whether or not we should do it.
Related question, how old is our carpet? Yeah, this actually is not that old of a carpet, even though it looks like it's out of the 70s. And so I'm just wondering, we're going to be moving things around. We're going to have to cut pieces out, try to match, try to patch. What is this, $4,000 or $5,000 worth of carpeting? We might want to, knowing that we're not going to get reimbursed from CARES Act, if we're going to replace the carpeting anytime in the next couple of years, this would probably be the time to do it in coordination with this. And I've always found the paint in here depressing. I'm just, by the time we take this off, put the new stuff in, you're going to have to cut here, patch it there. Right. I mean,
What we're saying, though, is there's an expense here that we don't know for sure if it's going to be covered by the county. The justification I heard out of the chute was there's money out there to get the fundamental like that contract. And the benefits does folks. I think there's money out there. This is really what Trump wanted money to be used for, to reconfigure city council change.
what I will tell you, Steve, is if the city doesn't spend it, it rolls back to the county. It's not going to not be spent. It's going to be spent in some other
And the
form.
argument is like either we spend it, whether you think it's a necessary expense or not, or somebody else is going to spend it, whether you think it's a necessary expense.
Yeah, and so we have the opportunity here to reconfigure, give ourselves a little bit more space, try to. And so, I was talking with Nick earlier, is if we had put this up in front of the county 4 months ago, I don't think it would have been considered because they thought COVID would be over. Now everybody's thinking this could stick around for another 6, 8, 18 months. How much compliance we're going to have out of the public is one thing versus what we're supposed to be doing up here as a council. Every time I'm speaking, I'm taking my mask off, so I hopefully can be heard on the recording, not be muffled. So I mean, it's a question of, if we want to just vote no because we don't want to spend the COVID money or the CARES money, that's a decision we can make. But if you think it's going to go back into the U.S. Treasury, I can tell you it's not.
But we have to spend the money.
No, we don't have to spend the money. We can give it.
We have to spend the money before we know for sure we're going to be
Yes. It's a reimbursable program, which is
we're a little bit rolling the dice here.
Well, we have an approval. We have a pre-approval from the county. It's not like we're just doing something hoping.
I know.
We've addressed it, and Nick's been very thorough in that. And I feel like the conversation relationship that you've built up with those people allows us to have some confidence.
And exposure is what, like 50,000?
Well, 42 is the estimate unless we add carpet and paint. But, yeah, I mean, again, yes, I've got an email from them saying this is eligible and you can submit it and we'll reimburse you. But I can't sit here and guarantee you that when we end up doing it 2 months from now that they're going to say the same thing. I cannot guarantee that. I think it'll happen. I think they'll reimburse us. I think that we can show them, hey, look what you said in this email back a couple of weeks ago. But I cannot sit here and guarantee that they're going to reimburse us. I think they will.
They say they will.
They say they will. But
Do you have any precedent on this? You've done this before?
as far as I know, well,
Yes. We've asked
The,
them,
the Commissioners Court area was revamped, and that was paid for out of the CARES money. It wasn't as extensive as what we're looking at here.
I can tell you that we're the only city that has thought of this, that I think, that has thought of this and has thought to ask this question of the county. Every city is struggling with how to figure out how to utilize this money. We're no different. And so, you know, some cities are talking about putting UV systems in their HVAC, and some cities are talking about all kinds of different things. This is just one of those items that we think will benefit us that, oh, by the way, helps fight COVID in the process.
And the money has to be spent by the end of the year, right?
By December 31st.
And what happens at the end of the year? It rolls back to the county?
I think it rolls back to the Fed at that point. Whatever the county isn't going to spend, I can tell you that the rent and mortgage support that's been put out to the public has been, they get more applications than they can fill. So anything that the cities don't use or the county don't use, I think is going to get rolled into that mortgage support system. But once again, that's going to be a decision of Commissioners Court that they will look at. I can tell you that they are often being approached by faith organizations, things like that, saying, we've got members that need help with rent, with food, with whatever, and they're always looking for ways to transfer more money into that support group.
I should also mention that the next step of this, should we go ahead and do this, is to go ahead and do new microphones as well. We even right now don't have enough up here, and so I'm pretty confident. In fact, I talked to the county about microphones as well, and the instant I told her that we were sharing microphones and two people were speaking into the same microphone, she gasped and said, "Oh, that's not good." And I said, "I agree." So, again, it's all about, does this fight COVID for them? And
everything leads with that question.
right, and so the statement I gave them when they were asking this question is, you know, at this point we aren't sitting 6 feet apart from each other, and this larger dais will put us in that spot where we're sitting 6 feet apart. And so that's the angle upon which they said, okay, then we'll reimburse you for it.
But we'll also be doing some modifications that we will take care of, and some of it through technology fund, core technology funds, and our PEG funds, which will eliminate these, put us up a big screen up there, and change the technology here on the desk. So, I mean, this is quite a program. And I want to say, and Nick, I think you've underplayed your conversation with the county on whether or not they'll reimburse you. I feel very confident, just simply the way you handled it and you approached it and the data that you've supplied them. And I think they're quite confident in you and in me as well, or I am as well. So thank you for your efforts, council. We have
What
a...
was the percentage that you feel that this county would cover? 1%.
They may balk at the door delete and door addition. We're talking about these doors over here. In order to do the ADA ramp, we got to modify the doors. The reality is that all plays into the fact that we need the larger space. So, you know, I've got a secret weapon, and her name is Anna Maria, and she does a good job of selling this. But yeah, I mean, it all can be tied into the fact that we're trying to get 6 feet apart from each other. And I told her on the phone when I talked to her, how can we expect our audience to sit 6 feet apart from each other when we cannot do it ourselves? And I think that resonated. And so again,
I think it did too.
I'm not trying to sell this to you, and I'm not trying to say that, you know, Nick wants this to happen, but I am saying that this is an option that helps us spend that COVID money before it goes away. And so, absent that, staff will continue to buy soap and disinfectant and masks, and we'll get reimbursed for that. Correct.
I've got two questions with that. Mayor, you had mentioned if we had a new form of government, there may be more folks up here. How many more would that go to?
Cannot even begin to approach that answer.
Okay. But it could be an additional Okay, and then second one,
Couple more maybe.
When you think about P and Z,
Jimmy, keep your eyes open here. Listen to what you hear.
it's hard to find people for those boards.
It will be when he retires. All right, we're a little off topic, but thank you very much for saying that. So
Nick,
if
if-
anybody wants to join P&Z, EDC, POA, Board of Adjustment, contact Rick.
Nick, is it going to cut down on the size of the audience by expanding
I don't
the
think
dais?
it will. I mean, you can see the photos. It's more of a U shape, and so I don't know that it'll cut too deeply into an audience.
I just want to make sure we're not going to, A, cut the occupancy in this room, or B, affect courts in any negative way. Is this going to be helpful for courts? Is it, I don't know if Courtney... Okay.
Yeah, it creates a lot more functionality. I mean, at some point,
Versatility.
yeah, at some point in the life of the city, some council is going to say we need to update this thing, and this is an opportunity to do it, possibly get reimbursed for it. I think we can. But yeah, I mean, in the future, should the council grow, should we have more people up here, whatever, then we'll have more space to do it, for sure.
I think we need a little horse up here.
Nobody else knows what you're talking about.
I'll bring one next meeting. All right. With that hint, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Nick. Thank you so much for working so hard on that. And Anna Maria, for you too, for putting all this together. And Courtney for overseeing it all. Item number 7, discussion consideration ordinance 2020-34, amending the city's general fund budget for fiscal year. And let me swap over here. Pardon me. Got the wrong thing. This is 35, this is 30. I don't know what I did. I flipped something over. All right. Well, I can read it off of here.
Can we get the mayor a binder so he can't flip them?
I like the binder idea. I'll take it. Amending city's general fund budget fiscal year 2019, ending on September 30, 2020, not to exceed the amount of $14,000 from line item 100-040-565000. That's Public Works Grounds Maintenance Landscape, and taken from the following line items: $4,000 from 100-40-53405 fuel, $2,000 from line item 100-040-542-000 employee training, and $8,000 from line item 100-040-562-004 City Hall maintenance. And we're taking it for irrigation repairs, seasonal landscaping, and mulch. Motion by Rick,
Second.
second by John. Any discussion? Or by Kurt?
You got it, John.
I think, John, you got it. All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously as well. Item number 8 is a discussion and consideration of ordinance 2020-35, amending the city general fund budget. As you can see, we're moving some money around here at the end of the year for a fiscal year bid beginning October 2019, ending September 30, 2020, in the amount not to exceed line item $2,000 to line item 1000405320005 Public Works Tool and Equipment from line item 1000405620006 Equipment Maintenance to purchase an air compressor, battery packs, power washer, and an auger. Motion by John,
Second.
second by Kurt. Discussion?
Is this something that we moved, or did this not come up in the budget discussion?
No,
This is
this is for this year.
But then why do we have to have a budget amendment?
because it's coming out of another departmental budget, so it's an interdepartmental transfer from Public Works over to Parks.
Oh,
Oh, it's staying in public, I'm sorry. One line item to another, I'm sorry. So it's a transfer.
there's a reclassification of an expense.
And before we had all these fancy people, we didn't have to do this.
I know.
You did, you just weren't.
We just didn't do it.
Well, and that brings up a little bit, we could look at authorizing administrative transfer within certain categories. Like at the county, I can transfer from fees to property and equipment. Internally, all I got to do is send an email to the budget office. If I want to transfer something into or out of my IT, or if it's anything to do with salaries or part-time or anything, those things have to go to Commissioners Court for approval. So that's probably something we want to discuss going forward, whether we want to make some of this administrative. As long as we're staying within the department budget, we allow them to transfer category to category so that they don't have to come to us for these items.
That works for me, but however, tonight we haven't done that. I've got a
Move to approve?
Second?
motion and a second by Rick and Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we had John and Kurt over here. So this side voted, is that correct?
Yeah, we voted already.
Aye.
Did y'all catch up?
Yeah. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Sorry, folks. This is another item, discussion and consideration of ordinance 2020-36, amending the city's general fund budget for the fiscal year 2019 to 2020 in the amount not to exceed $45,596. Council, you've got all this all in front of you. I don't think I need to read it all, do I?
Just the same concept?
Yeah, same concept.
concept.
This is just for playground equipment, additional pool plastering expense, decking for the Nature Center treehouse, and educational signs for the lake area. And I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Rick, second by Steve.
Hold on real quick. On here, does it say lighting on the trail? It says it on the summary that we received in the packet, but not on the agenda here.
So I'll amend my motion to include trail lighting.
Thank you.
It's on the summary.
I just want to make sure if that was supposed to be on there, we get that.
Okay, it is. So the motion to include the trail lighting,
Second.
seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all very much. This is exciting to see the professionalism at work, except at the mayor's office. Okay. Item number 10, discussion consideration of the creation of a home rule charter committee and possible committee candidates. This is a big step. This is a discussion that we've bounced around. Tonight we're going to just hit it head on and say, council, we're looking at creating a home rule charter committee for the purpose of creating and moving the city forward to be a home rule city. There are a lot of advantages in the fact that we get to create who we are, how many people sit up here at this dais, how long they sit in there. There's all sorts of things that we can do. And I can't go into them all right now, but it gives us control over our own city. It really, in my opinion, didn't matter a lick of beans prior a few years back because we weren't going to annex anybody. And that was the biggest thing for going home rule was to annex and be able to have that right to annex. Well, we were and still are landlocked. However, with an almost, well, they are. The state legislature is changing the rules on general law cities so fast every time we can't keep up with them. I think there are some advantages to home rule in that regard. It's just flat dab offers some protection and some lack of change, and it increases the stability of our city governance. Before I say go, I just kind of put something together, said I think each council person should come up with 2 people for a charter committee. That'd be 10. And then have an additional 5 spots or 3 spots, with the mayor putting a couple on, just like council, and the others open for discussion at an open session. That'd give us a 15-member charter committee. This is going to be an important thing. The TML magazine had something in charter committee last month or month before on home rule and some of the things that are there. We've looked at a lot of home rule. I believe we can justify it. We're going to have to self-declare, and I think we can. We've spoken to our attorney, and who believes that we can sit down there and fall. We've got money in the budget set aside for expenses, legal expenses for the charter, and he feels comfortable that he can fall in line with that figure. And so I'm for moving forward with taking a look at and putting a charter. And that committee may come up and say, nah, we're fine. Stay the way we are. Okay? And or they may come up and go, heck no, we've had too many long-term mayors. We're going to term limit our mayors. Whatever it might be. But they get to make that. And then, Nick, don't let me step on myself too bad here. But once you've got a charter committee in place, typically what you do is you have to put in something that says you have to review your charter every 5 years. But you can't be changing it willy-nilly in between. So what you got is what you got. And that comes the stability part, and it cuts down on the changes of ordinances and things by whim and fancy by every time you change over a council. And we've seen that a couple times since I've been here. And it eliminates that type of thing. So there's a lot to this. It's a big decision, and I just don't think that's a decision any one person should make, meaning me, or even this council. And I think we put forth a charter committee, let them kick it around, discuss it, do the research. They'll drive Nick crazy with questions, and that's fine. Won't bother me a bit. But we've got some serious people in this city that are smart and diligent, and I'm going to use a silly topic to illustrate my point, but Nadia, you remember the chicken committee? Mine too. For 1 year, people came in here prepared. Well, all but maybe 1 or 2. Came in seriously prepared for serious discussions, and there was some great back and forth. And, I mean, I was impressed. Yeah, it did make the paper. So that's the kind of folks that we're going to have coming in with something like this.
So Mayor, one of the things that's not clear to me is this concept of self-declare. And does our attorney feel that we have met the criteria to move forward with a committee? Or is that going to be the first thing the committee does? Is who we meet that committee?
No. By the time we say we're having that up, we're there. We have to self-declare. It means we just have to declare ourselves at 5,000 people in this city. I can show and will show and write down and have prepared a list of things to document that. One of them I can go back to the 2010 census. It's 80.2% of the houses were represented, and we've got 4,660. That leaves 20% of the houses that were undocumented. And if you add that up, 20% of that 4,660 would be 5,559. That puts us over the 5,000 right there. If you look at the number of taps, water taps, and was it 2.34 per household? That puts us over 5,000 people as well. We have some other survey things from different people that say we're over 5,000 people.
So our attorney is comfortable that we've met or concluded
That we will be accepted, the state will accept our declaration.
last thing I want to do is spin up a bunch of work.
On a bunch of money, yes. I'm confident in saying at this point, our attorney is confident that the state will accept our declaration.
Well, that leads into when will the census numbers be out, and is it going to come out before we get to the point of putting this forward?
Of course, this year's census is all screwed up. They just cut us off a month again. But we're not looking for the census at least for a year and a half, or a year and a half. So we'll be moving forward.
What is that? Should we have a timeline in your head?
Looking at other cities, it generally takes about a year. Depends on how much your council fights. You can do it in as little as 6 months.
Yep.
And as much as 2 years. It just depends on if your council is, well, not your council, your committee is all over the place.
And how much interference the committee gets from council.
Now,
In my understanding, the council is not on the committee. And the council has to approve. No, it goes to the voters.
Would the goal be to have it within the May election? Is that the timeline we're going
No, you'd
for?
have a special charter election.
Okay.
Are we obligated to be in May? I didn't know.
I don't know that we're going to be ready I don't know that we'd be ready in May.
March, April, May, that's 8 months.
But if we have to mail something out in advance,
And call the election, all that stuff. So that's 8 months. And so, Steve, in my mind, I think we can do it in 8 months. But if all of a sudden it gets thrown back and you go, Nadia's causing too much trouble on the committee again, it's going to be, it'll be 3 months longer and we do it in November. So I don't have
And who sets the rules?
the committee.
So, I mean,
Mayor,
yeah,
do you run the committee? Are you the?
Nope.
It's yeah, I
Yes.
mean, it is designed to be a separate body, independent of council, that cannot be influenced by council.
yeah, I
Is
mean,
there a leader that helps moderate what goes on? Or
county attorney
okay.
or city attorney. Yeah, no, not Roy's not going to do it. He's short timing.
Oh, yeah, we'll have several examples where they could pick and choose and cut and paste type thing. And the key is when you get people sitting together, just like in this council, now we've seen it how many times where you start off here and then as ideas flow, all of a sudden it expands and we're on the dang county bond thing. And so if everybody votes for the bond election and if it passes, City of Meadows Place is going to get much more than the parking lot that we wanted for EOC. It's going to tie us to Houston, Stafford, and on because of expanded ideas and desires. I believe that the same thing will happen in the city now, or the charter. I believe in most cases they're going to be paring it back, and then others are going to be very specific. But yeah, there's all kind of charters, and I recommend you go look at a few.
Roughly how long are these? Like, how many pages are we talking about for most of the charters?
Yeah, it depends on how complicated you want to get. Some of them are Some of them are 2 pages, some of them are 40 pages. I mean,
Okay, so it's not like 1,000 pages we're expecting this committee to.
think
come
of
up
a, think
Not,
of a,
not unless you're Houston.
not unless
Yeah.
you're used to it. Think of
Fair
a
enough.
charter as like a city constitution. And so you're literally deciding who you want to be, your form of government, how many council members, how long they serve, does the mayor get to vote or not. All of these things get to be identified in your charter. In addition to that, those charters are set in such a way that they can't be changed unless a vote of the public changes them. So you can put in place certain financial measures or protections that can't be undone by the next council. It can only be done by a vote of the public.
For instance, some of the things we were talking about earlier. How much reserve do we keep in reserve period, and how much is considered reserve that's fluid? All that can be listed right in the charter.
I mean, in essence, council would be putting our fate into the hands of this committee. They might say, current existing council has 2 years left, and then we're going to go with a whole new council. And then thereafter, you've got 6-year term limits.
Something to that effect, yes. And that's happened here before. It's happened in Sugar Land. When they got their charter and moved, Lee Duggan, who had been there for a long time, found himself on the outs. He had one more term. 90 to 92, maybe, somewhere like that. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have 5,000 population there for a long time. So, yeah, they did. And there's no reason, again, I was an anti-home rule person for a long time. But now I feel like with everything changing and so fluid and up at Austin, it'd be better for our city if we can sit down there and eliminate some of that flux and say, hey, this is who we are, without a doubt. And by the way, if we're going to change it, it'll take a vote, and the charter committee will have to come up and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, it's 15 is statutory. It's 15 people.
Oh, so you have to.
Yeah,
How you make that up, that's kind of a discussion.
So when do you want the names by?
Yes, yeah. Correct. So,
And just to remind council, one of the biggest hits we've taken in recent years was our sex offender ordinance.
1,000-foot hit.
Yeah, we had it at 2,000 feet from schools, parks, whatever. Then we got challenged from a group that was trying to void our ordinance. There was a question on whether general law cities actually had the right to have these ordinances. We approached the legislature saying, hey, can you define...
Literally, we meaning City of Meadows Place.
Yeah, we were leading the charge. Can you help us define that we have this right at 2,000 feet? They eventually did pass a law that said, yes, we have the right, but they changed the distance to 1,000 feet, which is the same as the state rule. So in essence, they didn't do anything for us. And at 1,000 feet, it opened up about 50% of the city to sex offenders. Mm-hmm. We went through, added a few more pocket parks. We're probably down to 30% of our homes could have sex offenders, whereas under the old 2,000-foot rule, we had about 20, 25 houses in the northwest corner that were open to sex offenders. You can't completely blanket your city. You have to leave some potential places for them, otherwise it's unconstitutional. And to me, that would be one of the biggest things that would allow us to protect our city if we were home rule that we can't do as a general law.
Yeah, John asked the question, when do you want the names by? we can't appoint anybody tonight, nor will we till our next council meeting. However, we got to have the names in hand to have that discussion and appointment. So I would like to suggest we start immediately. Have each one of you send 2 names in that you definitely want to see appointed to it. And if you want to appoint yourself, if you knew there was going to be a change in position, that would be strictly up to you.
Volunteering?
But we'll move forward on this and send the names, please, to Courtney. Copy me and copy Nick. I'm going to be handed my names in, and I'm going to do 3. That leaves 2 at large. I'm sorry. I'm going to do 2. That leaves 3 at large.
Mayor, this change would also allow us to get around this rule about building materials?
Yes. No.
It doesn't?
No, we got to get a hold of our state reps and get them to change it,
That was a law that prohibited cities of any kind from
including home rule, which shocked everybody. Yes, it is.
So the best way that it's ever been described to me, and it's not, it's somewhat unclear, but the best way it's ever been described to me is general law cities have to look to the state to determine what they can do. Home rule has to look to the state to determine what they cannot do. You have a lot more latitude as a home rule city.
Most home rules, most cities, after they've been established for a while, and they, especially if they hit around that $5,000 person mark, do go home rule, and it's for that reason. And that,
So we show up next council meeting, we're going to list the names, and what do? We vote on them,
and please check and see if your person is qualified, but more important, interested and committed. Yeah, I would hope so. Just, you'd be surprised, Steve.
I'm nominating Steve Besner.
How,
Let's plan on the October meeting, setting the committee and their charge.
how often would this committee meet?
You'll have to ask the committee.
Yeah, I just.
And
it'd
you'll
be
have
nice
to ask them what night they meet and what time they meet.
They could just choose to slow roll it and not do anything.
They could come back to you and say, we think we should stay general law. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And if after giving some thought, I mean, we've seen that happen,
But people change
they
their mind.
decide to do that and give legitimate reasons for it, so be it. But unless we can move forward and test it out and see, I just don't think we're doing the citizens of City Meadows Place right, not this year or next, but 20 years from now, I think it'd make a huge difference. Resident. Okay. Any other discussion at this point? So we're planning on getting names in by, say, a week if you can. Try to give you a little bit of interest in getting it done.
That's going to be 2 weeks by the time we can talk to anybody.
Okay, 2 weeks. I'm fine with that. I'm just trying to say pick a date. Otherwise, I'll be at the last minute going, who do I know? And I don't want that. So,
So if we submit names, then you're going to circulate the names in 2 weeks? Because I don't want to show up with the same boots you are. Like,
that
I
would
don't
be
know
one
these
of-
people.
That'd be one of the things. That's why I want to see them come in. If everybody's nominating somebody that's moving, that won't work.
So when you send your nomination in, it'd be good to send a short bio, how long they've lived here, activities, things like that, involved in swim team or past involved in baseball. Something to give the rest of us, who is this person if we don't happen to know them.
Sits on the EDC and something else or whatever.
So are we sending these nominations to a council email or just to Courtney? Okay.
Send them to Courtney and CC and us.
I just don't want any vetting of these names.
Any what?
any pre-selection of these names before they get to council.
Courtney, can you send us a reminder in a week, just so we don't forget?
Gum.
Now you're getting the drift of how this works. Okay. So we're going to get a reminder in a week to hurry us up. Guys, this is a huge step.
Where's that horse?
Potentially a huge step in changing the future of this city. I personally feel for the better. All right. With that, moving on to item number 11. I haven't even touched this. Have we got the names on here? Put them down. Item number 11 is discussion and consideration of resolution 2020-43, nominating members for the positions of trustees 1 through 4, Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool. Courtney, tell us about this. Okay, well, I'm going to run down real quick my recommendations. They don't mean anything, and y'all can throw them out if you want. I'm going to come in on place 1. We've only got 1, so I'm voting for Robert. And that just goes on place 1, 2, 3, and 4. Place number 2 is I'm going to go with John Fullen. He's mayor of the city of Henderson. He's the incumbent. And the second option is, oh, I got you. Chris Armacost, he's city commissioner for the city of Hitchcock. He's in Region 14. Fullen is in 15. Armacost, and the reason I mention that because that's us. He's director of technology, transportation, operations for the Hitchcock Independent School District. Both are good high quality candidates. Place 3 is George Hyde. He's city attorney for Watauga, Region 8. Roy E. Maynor, Alderman, City Alderman, position 3, City of West Columbia. I know him, met him. I don't know him real well, but he's been on with them since 2013. And Jeff Snyder, who's the incumbent, City of Plainview, served as assistant manager for Plainview and city manager for Idalou. He's from West Texas A&M University. They don't get a whoop, do they? I guess maybe they do.
So why do we have to do this?
Because
We have the opportunity to, we're one vote among how many cities?
1,200 and something.
So, I mean, whether we can move the needle or not,
I don't know any of these people. Nor have they come solicited my vote.
Okay, item 4 is, and y'all should have had all this in your packets as well. Robert Houck is city manager for the city of Tomball, Region 14. It's also one that I'm recommending that one. City council member, or item number 2 is Dave Martin, mayor pro tem for city of Houston, also Region 14. I would prefer to see the smaller cities representative.
yes.
Kimberly Meisner is Executive Director for General Operations for Kerrville up in Region 7. Anybody who lives in some place that pretty doesn't deserve it. And Sean Overgender, City Manager for La Mesa up in Region 3. He's been in local government for a while, and he's been in economic development and for a long time up there. And he became the city manager in 2018. So... Yes, I did. Place 3 is Roy Maynor with West Columbia. So, council, does anybody want to discuss this change?
And who was for?
And on 4 was Robert Houck.
From
With
Tomball?
Tomball, yeah.
I'm actually good with all those recommendations. Anybody else have an objection? I'll go ahead and move to approve.
A motion by Rick,
Second.
second by John. Any further discussion? All in favor? Right.
Those opposed, nay.
Any opposed?
Nay. Yeah,
He wants to do no vote.
no vote.
He doesn't want to vote on the thing.
So,
He's not abstaining, he's voting no.
you don't want to participate?
That's right. I was trying to look it up. I don't know enough about these people. It'd be unfair for me to vote for those people. Plus, I never get to vote no anyway, so I wanted to.
He wanted to do it
And
before
I
he
tell you
leaves.
what, I'd rather have somebody vote no than abstain.
There you
You're
go.
here to represent the people of Meadows Place one way or the other. Thank you. Okay, this one
He
on,
wanted to throw all the bums out.
Clean the house.
that doesn't work.
That's why I want to get on this charter thing.
Discussion and
I
possible
rescind
action
my nomination.
related to signs. We passed that, right? Yeah. 4-1, or 4.
Oh, boy.
Okay. This is a discussion and possible action item. We don't have to take action, but want to get a discussion started at least. And this is possible action related to signs and the signed ordinance in the city of Meadows Place. Signed ordinances have been under attack in small cities all across the state, especially in election years. Things have changed. Supreme Court rulings. HOAs have authorities that we do not, et cetera. So,
And I want to jump in. I asked for this to be on council because I actually did receive a couple phone calls from people because of some signs that have popped up.
yep.
Jimmy, where are you going?
Jimmy, thank you
He's running away because he's got one of the signs. Oddly enough, the sign I got called about were the Hope Lives Here signs because of the pure number of them that have popped up. One of the churches trying to advertise. And I don't think the person is against the message. I think the person is against all these yard signs that have started to pop up. And the comment I got was, back in our day, everybody put these things in their window that wasn't out in the yard. Right. Your athlete signs, your whatever signs.
That is not true.
Whether it is,
30 years.
whether it's true or not, that's what I got. And I remember when we used to put the athlete signs in the windows. I remember seeing that.
The only reason we put them in the window is because they were getting stolen. Yep. I remember that when I was in high school.
Yep.
I collected a few.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably got some on your fence.
And so I just wanted to open up the discussion because I saw, I did receive a call, and then I saw the chatter on Facebook. So I said, I'll put it up there and see if anybody wants to talk about it. I don't see anybody here to talk about it, so I don't know if we need to spend much time about this at all or not.
Okay, I want to address the sign ordinance too because it's much more in depth than that. And that's not the calls on the one I got, okay? But we've had some discussions on this. The one that says Hope Lives Here, that's a 30-day sign, okay?
Why is that a 30-day sign? That's what the ordinance says.
No, it's because that's what the church is running, a 30-day program.
Oh, that's their decision to have that sign there.
Yeah, they're trying to do that, and of course, I go to that church, and I don't remember. We normally do stuff like that, except I'm not sticking a sign in my yard. For the very reason that Rick's saying. It just doesn't, I don't think.
Do we have an ordinance on signs at all?
Who knows what it is? Nick will discuss that in just a second. And I propose we break the sign discussion into two parts, or the electronic signs and home signs. And I propose we break the electronic sign discussion into two parts, government and private sector. With the private sector before the Planning and Zoning Commission on a case-by-case basis. Governments in case would be the City of Meadows Place and Fort Bend Independent School District. And with the exception of the 59 business corridor, the private sector would consist of basically the businesses everywhere else. I understand that some of us may want to say everybody should be on the same level playing field as far as electronic signs. In theory, that sounds great, but I don't believe it to be correct. Government here is to serve the people, and the business community is here to take their money. Not a bad thing, but there's a difference in government and business. Also, this is not a theoretical exercise. This is real life. Not every decision is an easy one or that clear. We know that the school's going to want to put up an electric sign, and I, for one, think it's ridiculous to be put in and to be bragging about our new high-tech 21st century learning center and then tell them to go stand in the rain to change their cheesy little letters out on the sign. I think let's be reasonable here, and the easiest and cleanest way to do this is to break electronic signs.
We have this in front of the P&Z right now, and we have not received a recommendation.
And to
So
the
how
private
are we
sector.
going to discuss this without influencing their decision?
They're not here.
They could be watching.
You're quite correct.
I move to table the discussion on electronic signs.
I second that.
Okay, so we'll table the.
Oh, we got to vote.
We'll table it.
No, we got to vote
All
to
in
see.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, any? Table. Any stable? No, I got what I said wanted out. Now, there's the other part of this is signs. I have gone round and round for the past 3 elections over these signs. There have been people who have put signs up that we've asked them to move, including one about motorcycles and be careful on motorcycles and stuff like that, and they've been put them out there. You mentioned like my kids on the Dulles swim team sign and things like that. And our policy in the past has been kind of, if your kid's on the football team, football season's going on, you stick your sign out there, say, he's a tackle on the football team. You leave him there till the football season's over. Same thing with swim team, et cetera. That's kind of be our policy, and right or wrong, there's been nothing written on it, but it's worked very, very well for the city. What's happening now is people are starting to fight us a little bit on the political signs. There's and other signs. I think Rick has a position, correct me if I'm wrong, whether you either allow these signs, including the Hope sign, the Black Lives Matter sign, and the football team sign, or you take them out. And that's the position I'm starting from. We need to make a decision.
And basically, I did a little research on this, and it says you can't have content-based requirements.
That means you can't read it and say, I don't like that one, you got to take it down.
You basically, if you have to read the sign to tell whether you want it or not, or will allow it or not, you've judged it on content.
You can't do it.
So,
That's gone to the Supreme Court in states and in federal.
And so, basically, I think we're left with an all-or-nothing decision. If we're going to allow the athlete signs, we're allowing all these signs. We can probably put a time restriction on them. They can be there for a season, whatever. I don't know if that's even allowed. It'd be something we'd have to look at.
I like the idea of putting them in the window. We actually had that for a period of time.
Well, and John,
We signed in the window, but that's the only signs we allowed at the time.
See, but I had hoped to get some public input. That's why I put it out there.
idea.
Do we have anyone from the public that would like to speak on this topic?
All right.
Same just for you, Rick. Stretch it out.
Take your mask off.
I don't know, somebody talked in this. He might be sick. No, I'm just kidding. Exactly. So,
Give me your name and address, please.
Nadza Shelton, 11942 Brighton Lane. So as the policy now stands, and I think, Rick, you asked the question, but it wasn't answered, what is the current whatever it is, current law, ordinance, suggestion?
And I think we had,
That's the right
that's
one.
the
That's
right
the
way.
right of way.
And I think there's also a part about, political signs can only go up so many days or weeks before.
Prior to the election.
Well, and I asked that question about, are we in conflict with state law? And so now we are, so we need to get our ordinances in line with state law.
Or get them in line with us.
Good luck with that.
But see, and that's still confusing. Well, like, what is a political sign?
Somebody running for some office, but, we've got one here about Trump. It's not one of his official signs. It's got other words on it. Is it a sign or is it a flag?
Flag.
Some people don't like that flag, but once again, are we going to get into defining allowable political speech?
Either that or if you take that flag down, you got to take the Texans flag. Well, that ought to do
They might take it down on their own.
Any other flag. So
fell
Nadia,
down.
we're addressing this to clear up some of the things, like Rick just said,
Right.
and to make sure that we are in accordance with the state law now, since we are a subdivision of the state and have to mind that.
So,
Not on that.
I mean, the point of my question is that, like, the point of the question is that, like, defining, like, I don't even know what a political sign is. There's obviously, if you're running for office and you got your name on the sign, but you also have platforms, vote Republican. You also have special issues, vote against this proposition. You have other people who are putting signs in their yard that says vote against none of them. Yeah, I mean,
Basically related to that election that's within 90 days.
They're election signs, regardless if it's for a
And-
person or for a proposition. They're all election signs.
But they're not all identifiable that way. I mean, there was a guy a couple of years ago who, in the middle of whatever, decided to put up Hillary Clinton sign. He was in Trump's term. Well, is that a political sign? Well, yeah. He's opposing the president, and he's just trying to make a statement.
but then that same person could take a sign that says, I don't want to be offensive, but, do something with this person type sign.
Yep.
And that has nothing to do with a specific election. They feel strongly about a person, and they want to see something happen to that person.
So I think I ask that because, you have to start with where you are and what the goal is and what you're trying to do, right? And it's only spam if you don't like the email. It's only, if it's not, I do want to go eat at that restaurant, then it's not spam anymore. It's something helpful.
Then it's an invitation.
Yeah, then it's an invitation. And so I think with signs, it's the same way. It's only an eyesore if I don't believe with it, if I don't agree with it, or if it's excessive. So, I mean, I don't think, and especially in this time of everybody being a bit more isolated, I hesitate to say we can't express ourselves, right? But I think you have to be realistic in frameworking that, of saying we can in the window, or we can for this amount of days. But from what I've seen and heard, if you're going to put a time limit on it, somebody has to enforce that, right? And, you can't just have a little clicker of like day 1, day 2, day 3.
And I took it down for a day, and now I would put it back out, and I restart my 90 days.
Yeah, does it restart? So it has to be of that thing. So I think what I'd want to see is some sort of restriction of signage requirements, right? Of this is a sign, or this is an expression of this. So it may be like a physical sign, it may be a banner, it may be something. You kind of have to wrap all of that into that. Because otherwise, am I finding the loophole by having a flag that says all the same things, but now it's on my flagpole, so it's not a sign? That should be included or addressed there. or the number, or the size, or the colors, or specific terms, or something along those lines. We can't judge based on content, but I would hope you could place something of certain pictures or language. I would hope we would be able to restrict, right? But if it comes down to that, if somebody chooses to do that and it's within the rules, you have to allow it. And that is a whole different discussion and a whole different thing. So I think having some sort of framework, like I say, is needed and necessary. But I think first we have to determine what are we playing with and what are we able to do.
I mean, truthfully, council, with the lack of interest, I put this out on Facebook sometime last week.
Over the weekend?
Told people to email their council members if they had input. I didn't receive any emails. Nobody's here. I think
I'm somebody.
There's going to be no interest until we try to change something. Nadia, first of all, let me say thank you for coming up. Nadia comes to a lot of these meetings, and I appreciate it. She and I don't always see eye to eye on stuff, but I always respect her, and she always comes up just like she did tonight with an intelligent commentary and will give you, acknowledge both sides of the fence. I don't know that we'll get that on the rest of about a lot of these people, but we do have to address.
Sometimes I dig my heels in. It's
This
all right.
30-day, yeah, I know. You're good at it. 30 to 90-day rule. We need to address that. Does that need to go before P&Z? Okay, so we're going to have a joint public hearing on P&Z just to straighten up our ordinance on the 30 to 90-day.
we can't just get our attorney to say this is void because it's in violation of state law and follow state law. You guys are supposed to keep us straight.
Oh, it's going to give us a discount then. Okay.
Courtney threw the attorney on the bus. Nick says I wasn't here.
Yeah, so he doesn't care whatever you guys decide. Okay, I'm gonna shut this conversation down with this if I can. Let's figure out what we have to do and proceed.
Let's clean up our
90
political
to 30
sign
days.
difference from state law, get us in compliance with state law.
Yes.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please.
You guys might want to commission the P&Z to look at the sign ordinance once we have a full P&Z that can meet with a quorum. Commission them to look at the sign ordinance, bring you guys recommendations with a city attorney recommendation as well on what needs to be done to update it and clean it up, specifically from a compliance with the law perspective.
Well, they're also supposed to be bringing us a recommendation on the electronic signs.
Yep, and that can talk about that too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they need to look at that we've talked about in the last couple of months. Setbacks, for example, and they can look at all these things. And they do need to meet independent of council. But there's two ways they can meet. They can either meet on their own because they want to, or they can meet because you want them to. So if you guys want them to meet, then you commission them to look at the.
You need a motion for that?
Hold
Or
real
just-
quick.
you don't have to.
Are the
I was
construction?
Yeah, you need to get members first.
We're going to fill it city.
Are contractor signs in our ordinance? Because I know we tell contractors not to put signs up, but are they? I didn't know if they were
Sounds
actually
like
in.
they're allowed according to the current ordinance.
No, I think that's in the prohibited, or the, there's some signs that are exempt, like
Okay.
real estate
I
signs.
just want to
for
make sure
example.
they're in there because we tell contractors not to. And
There's some signs that are exempt in there, but
But are there some that are prohibited, like contractor signs, like John's Windows? Well, let's figure that out too. Correct. I always go yank them out and throw them up on top of the roof. No, no.
yeah, please find out because I've pulled a few.
Where in the world am I?
I've pulled the ones in the right of way.
Maybe be committing theft.
In the right of way, not in people's yards.
Pulling up signs in the right of way is just picking up litter.
Actually, that's correct.
Which we do.
Okay. So if I had my binder, I'd be looking at the next item on the agenda. And it's the consent agenda. So I've done this in time or two, so do I have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Steve, second by Kurt or John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Audience comments for items not on the agenda. Madia, would you like to address council?
Poor ladies, they waited 2 hours.
Filibuster. Still Nadza Shelton, 11942. That hasn't changed in the last 10 minutes. I don't think. I haven't been home yet. It might have. Yeah, we know a realtor. So it's been a few years since we've talked about it or mentioned it, but first I just want to tell Colleen, who's not here, how nice it is to have the pool open a little later in the year, and how that's a benefit to the city. With the addition of the nature center and the access there, I think it would be beneficial to revisit a year-round access for an adults with a waiver, year-round provided the weather is good.
At the pool.
At the lap pool specifically, yeah. Based on the access and the driveway there, which is public access, before it was somebody's house, that would be odd, but it would be easily configurable to have a key card access, much like the tennis courts, allowing early morning, later evenings for those who aren't available during the day. I know the budget season's already passed for this, but it does take some time to evaluate. I'm sure there's increases in liability insurance and the key card access and, all that different stuff. But I know I and a few others that I've talked to would gladly pay a little bit more for an extended access. And even if it was just during a longer period, just like we have the splash pad is only open for certain months based on weather, I think you could mimic that with the pool access to be able to give it them. That's it.
That's why you let people talk to come up with good ideas. No, but it was a great idea. Now we'll talk to Colleen tomorrow. Actually, if I can get her. Oh no, she's on vacation. She's back tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. I would have never thought of that in a million years. And by the way, if you haven't seen it on the City of Meadows Place Facebook page, there's a little thing, a short video about our pools. Watch it.
Can I ask a question?
Let me finish. And it mentions the lap pool, and because that's been our only pool for a while. And as soon as we got the main pool open again, we did replaster the lap pool. We got it done, and they were filling the other day and got it filled up. That thing holds 76,000 gallons of water. So I didn't know that. So anyway, that's something that we can look at, and I'll get with her. And you're right. It's going to take some time. If you get bored waiting on us, bug me.
Well, hopefully it'll get cool.
Well, I understand, but
Do we allow access to the lap pool today without
no.
city staff?
No.
Not without city staff, but without lifeguards.
Not without city. So how would you propose that ensure safety and
Vandalism, you can't.
access to, like the tennis courts is plagued with people going in, propping up the doors and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I think you could do it in similar ways. We already have police that drive by regularly. That's just citywide, hopefully preventing some of that stuff. I know some other areas, or much like an apartment pool, right? It's based on either, and to have a key card, you could have a waiver be signed by that where it says, I'm using this for myself. I take responsibility for these things. As of currently, we don't have to have lifeguards when adults were there. And I'm not sure how that works out because On Saturday, there were 4 adults in the pool, but there still had to be a lifeguard. But I was like, if we were in that pool, you wouldn't have to be on the stand. So I'm not sure why that's different, or of all of that.
Have signs that say no lifeguard on duty.
Yeah.
Public pools. Like that one by
Public, combined city owned or HOA owned?
I have no idea. Like that one
Most
by
of
Lost,
us are HOA.
that one by Lost Creek Park, I think it has a sign that says no lifeguard on duty.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's increased signage that has to be. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but this is the type of thing we're looking into. If we can provide a service for the public that would be enjoyed by a few or by even a medium amount of folk, and because we've got an asset that's not being used, maybe we can utilize it better. I'm willing to look into it, and it may be that the whole thing is a great big no because of insurance and liability.
Right. And like I said, I'm sure there's an increased
but we're-
insurance
yeah.
Liability there, which, like,
You guys be willing to pay like a $50,
I would. Yeah, I mean,
That's what you charge,
yeah, that would,
and if it offset it, great.
yeah.
Nadia, we'll look into it. How's
Okay.
that?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? No, okay, then moving on to item H. That's adjournment. Where's Kelly? Motion by Rick.
Second.
Second. Thank you, Kurt. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, council.